Every aircraft type we've got is changing over the next couple of years. Everything's going to be new. And of course, over and above that, we've got the new aircraft carrier going into the sea next year. So this is a really exciting time for the Fleet Airline.
So, for example, the Sea King aircraft behind me is being replaced by the Merlin. And at present, I have 200 naval personnel up at RAF Benson learning how to fly and maintain the aircraft. And then progressively, following when we take command of the force in October next year, we'll progressively bring those aircraft back to Yeovilton in the maritime role.
The new Merlin is very modern. It's touch screen capability as well. It's got a ramp in the rear which will help troops embark a lot more quickly than they could do beforehand. It's quicker, flying at about 120 knots rather than the 90 knots of the Sea King, and therefore it's got more endurance as well.
This is a very exciting time for CHF. You know, we're changing our aircraft, we're moving forward to modern aircraft that give us more capability. I think we're also moving into a maritime age when really the way that the UK is going to deploy armed forces will be absolutely maritime centric, and I think CHF will be at the centre of that.
One of the biggest challenges is bringing the new aircraft types into service, not just the aircrew but all the engineers as well. We've got to maintain the Lynx flying for the next few years, which is obviously critical to the output of the Navy. But the Wildcat's coming in.
We received our first aircraft in January, so we're about 8 months into trials. We've got about another 8 months to go on those. We're not quite halfway, we're a bit delayed, and that's just due to weather and aircraft serviceability. But so far they're going well. The aircraft's performed really well, and hopefully by the time it hits the front line, it'll be ready to go in all respects.
The Wildcat will be employed in a very similar way to the Lynx of old. It's a maritime attack aircraft, so it'll be used to prosecute surface and subsurface contacts in open water warfare and also in the littoral regions. So we'll be looking at conducting counter-piracy and counter-narcotics around the globe, deployed from the back of frigates and destroyers, as the Lynx has been used in the past. But the Wildcat will bring much more to bear in terms of operational capability. From a pilot's point of view, just handling the aircraft is very similar to the Lynx. There's a lot more power available to you as a pilot, and overall the aircraft is much smoother to fly, much less vibration, which is certainly a great improvement over the Lynx.
But it's really set aside with its weapons and sensors. So we've got a 360 radar, we've got a much better camera, all-weather capability on that, and then the weapons suite is going to be able to lead us into a much better position to prosecute contacts in the future. Over the next 8 months or so, we're going to finish the tactical development and evaluation of the aircraft, and then we're going to look to how we're going to use it on the front line. So we'll be flying lots of test sorties to see basically what tactics will be best for us to use against the enemies when it does get deployed to the front line. And then eventually I'll be taking the aircraft to sea in January 2015 on its first deployment, operating the Wildcat alongside the Lynx. The Wildcat will obviously have the radar and camera, while the Lynx will still have the weapons before we get them, so the two can operate side by side.
We're changing everything, as I said, so not only the new aircraft carriers, but the new fighter coming in, the F-35, and every helicopter type we've got is changing. So in 5 years' time, this is going to be a completely new force. Look forward to an exciting time ahead.